Hello students. So this video I am going to give you some explanation about emulsions and gels. Okay. So first let's start with emulsions. So what is an emulsion, students? Emulsion is nothing but it is a colloidal solution where dispersed phase and dispersion medium both are liquids. Such colloidal solutions we call them as emulsions. First we will look into the preparation of an emulsion. An emulsion can be prepared by just mixing up dispersed phase and dispersion medium. For example, students, when oil is shaken with water, we can prepare the emulsion. And the emulsion which is formed by doing so is not stable as the two layers get separated on standing. We all know this. We can do it at home also, students. Okay. So in order to get a stable emulsion, what should be done? We should add an emulsifier, which is also called as an emulsifying substance. Okay. And emulsion can also be prepared by mixing dispersion medium and emulsifier, and then dispersed phase is added with constant shaking. Okay. First we can mix dispersion medium, dispersed phase, and then add emulsifier. Or what we can do like this also, students. What is that? First we mix dispersion medium plus emulsifier, then we can add dispersed phase by shaking continuously. Okay, like that also we can prepare an emulsion. Now, classification of emulsions. There are two types of emulsion, students. They are oil in water and water in oil emulsions. So what is the difference between these two? First, let us see oil in water emulsions. The emulsions in which dispersed phase is oil and dispersion medium is water. So such emulsions we call them as oil in water emulsions, which are also called as aqueous emulsions. For example, milk. Second one, water in oil emulsions. It is exactly opposite to the first one. The emulsions where the dispersed phase is water and dispersion medium is oil, we call them as water in oil emulsions, which are also called as oily emulsions. For this example, we can give cod liver oil. So this is a picture representing water in oil emulsion and oil in water emulsion, students. A small experiment done at home, students. First taken water, then added oil into that water. So you can see water and oil, the two separate layers. Can you see that, students? The interface will be like this. Just wanted to show you something, how we can prepare an emulsion at home. I've just taken some water, into that added oil. See, can you see the two layers? So that is the interface of water and oil. Into this now I am adding the egg yolk. Which contains both hydrophilic and hydrophobic parts, students, and hence it's responsible for the stabilizing of the emulsion. That means it acts as an emulsifier. So after that, shake well. The emulsion is ready after shaking. This we call it as water in oil emulsion, students. Hope you enjoyed it. Okay, now how to identify the emulsions? So it comes under the side heading identification of emulsions, students. So there are two tests by which we can identify. First one is dye test, and under this some oil soluble dyes are added to the emulsion. So in the picture there is oil soluble dye as well as water soluble dye, students. Okay, if the background becomes colored, it is water in oil, and if the droplets become colored, it is oil in water. Okay, some oil soluble dyes are added to the emulsion. If the background becomes colored, it is water in oil, and if the droplets become colored, it's oil in water. With water soluble dyes, it is exactly opposite. Second one is dilution test. If the emulsion can be diluted with water, then it is oil in water, and if the water forms a separate layer, it is water in oil. Next, properties of emulsions. So now let us look into the properties of emulsion, students. The first point, emulsions show the properties of colloidal solutions like Brownian moment, Tyndall effect, electrophoresis, etc. And size of the emulsoid particles, when we observe, it is larger than those of salts. It ranges from 1000 to 10,000 angstrom units, and but however, it is little particles. Okay. Next, third property is demulsification. It is a process where we can find the breakdown of an emulsion to give constituent liquids. Okay. The process of demulsification can be done by the following physical methods. There are three methods, students, by which demulsification can be done. First one, boiling or freezing or centrifuging the emulsion. Cream is separated from milk with the help of centrifugation. And the second method, by adding a substance which can destroy the emulsifier. And third one is water in oil type emulsion can be demulsified by adding a dehydrating agent. Next, uses of emulsions. Concentration of the ore. In froth flotation process, the finely powdered ore is treated with an oil emulsion. When air is passed, it forms in such a way that the ore particles, they are moved to the surface, and there they can be collected. And also they are also used in medicines and cosmetic, students, digestion of fats, cleansing action of soaps, and also milk. It's used as an important part of diet. So after emulsions, we have gels, students. So gels are nothing but liquids in solids. These are the colloidal solutions where dispersed phase is liquid and dispersion medium is solid. And a warm solution of gelatin, when it is cooled to form a semi-solid mass, it is called as gel. And this formation of gel, we call it as gelation, students. Classification, they are divided into two types, elastic and non-elastic gels. Elastic gels generally have the property of elasticity. As you all know, when the external force is applied, they change their shape and return back to their original shape or position when the external force applied is removed. Okay, they can absorb water when placed in water, and they also undergo swelling, which is called as swelling or imbibition. And non-elastic gels are nothing but when the external force is applied, they may or may not change their shape, and they do not return back to the original shape or position when the external force is applied is removed. They cannot imbibe in water when placed, and also hence they do not undergo swelling. So the examples are also given, students, for each type. Next, some gels like silica, gelatin, etc. liquefy on shaking and lose their semi-solid gel-like character, but on long standing it changes again back to gel, which is called as thixotropic. Next, how to prepare gels. The first method, students, cooling of salts of moderate concentrations. In this method, the lyophilic gels of agar-agar, gelatin, etc. can be prepared. The salts of these substances in moderate concentrations can be prepared in hot water which undergo gelation on cooling. And because of this, the particles of the lyophilic soles, they are hydrated, and on cooling, the hydrated particles, they aggregate, forming layer aggregates, which forms a semi-solid network entrapping the entire liquid within itself. And the product is a semi-rigid gel-like structure. Second method, double decomposition. Hydrophobic gels like silica gel and aluminium hydroxide, they can be prepared using double decomposition. Silica gel can be obtained by adding HCl to the aqueous solution of sodium silicate. When highly hydrated, silicic acid gets precipitated, and on long standing it sets into a gel. That means a gel will be formed. Third method, change of solvents. This method is used for preparing some hydrophobic gels like calcium acetate. On adding ethyl alcohol or ethanol rapidly to a solution of calcium acetate, a colloidal solution of calcium acetate can be obtained. When it is allowed to stand, it undergoes gelation and semi-rigid gel of calcium acetate is formed. So this is all about emulsions and gels. Students, kindly note down all these points in your notebook.